And welcome everybody back to Talkin Geek Season 3, Episode 1. We are back, guys.
Woo!
And we're here. Robert couldn't get out of his contract, as you can see.
No, definitely not.
But
Actually, for the first time ever,
what?
Maybe I didn't want to get out of my contract. Maybe I am excited to be here because I haven't been anywhere else in the last 3 months. So, you know, maybe by next week I'll be ready to get out of my contract again. But I'm excited to be here. We're talking geek, bro.
Well, the audience is happy. And again, my name is Aaron. This is the incredible Robert here to my left. And I hope everyone's been safe right now. I mean, it's day whatever number there is of COVID.
Yeah, I think it's March 94th, I believe, at this point. Yeah, I think it's...
Like the year's 2732, I think. I've lost count of years and everything.
It's nuts, man.
Oh, my gosh. I'm ready for this to be done. You know, I haven't seen a good movie in a theater in forever. I haven't done...
I think the last theater experience, I believe, we shared. We went to see Onward. That's the last movie I saw in theater. And that was in mid-March.
Did Sonic come out before or after that?
Sonic was before that.
Then yes, that was my last movie theater too.
Yeah, because that was like 2 days before everything locked down. Like,
yeah.
We went to see Onward.
Yeah, because that was during spring break for my kiddos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right.
So that's a good movie,
yeah,
and you should see it. It's on Disney Plus now. Silent plug for Disney Plus. You're allowed to advertise for us anytime you want.
Anytime you want.
But
I will be happy for that.
But yeah, that's the last movie I saw in theater. So at least it was a good one. Like at least I didn't see like a crappy movie in theater for my last theater experience. But probably my next theater experience is gonna be Tenet. The new Christopher Nolan movie, which looks awesome and still tentatively scheduled to come out mid-July. We don't know exactly when. We did drop a video on the newest trailer that came out, so be sure to check that out.
Bubble Boys, that's what we're going to have?
Yeah, sure.
So this week, guys, we're coming to you, and we have a lot going on.
Yeah.
So today on today's show, guys, we have a lot of news we want to talk about and give to you. We have videos from around the net, Geek News Now, Take My Money, and of course, all the videos that we've released in this week, guys. So I hope all of you enjoy what we have.
Yeah, and a little Q&A section too. We're going to do that every week. So make sure, you know, as you're watching this video, you can drop questions in for next week on this video, or we're going to always drop posts every week too where we're going to be soliciting questions. So ask us your questions. We want to interact with you guys. So we've got a Q&A section every week too.
Exactly, and you can go to us on YouTube at Official GYGO, Facebook at Official GYGO, and then of course any of your favorite podcasts, whether it's Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, iTunes, any one of those out there, and you'll be able to catch our show on there. And of course, you can leave comments and questions in there, and you know, definitely will get those to you, and me and Robert will be glad to answer those.
Definitely.
Okay, guys, for our first segment, we have top videos from around the net.
Woo.
So here's what this is. So basically, we each looked up for a video that we thought was funny that we want you guys to check out, and hopefully you do and enjoy the video the way we did. So we got a few videos picked out between me, you, our cameraman back here, and your wife.
Yeah, and I mean they're all funny.
Yes.
Some of them are more geeky than others.
They are.
Some of them really aren't geeky at all, but they're just fun. We're having a little fun, and we wanted to try out this new segment, so we want to know what you think about it too. So make sure and let us know whether you like this segment, whether you check these videos out. If you go check the videos out, let them know that Get Your Geek On sent you.
Nice.
What do we have first, Aaron?
So mine is the first one. It's actually a kid that looks like
hubris
a Paul Walker.
right there. You're just like, I gotta go first.
Duh. You know, that's how it plays out.
Okay.
I have to be first.
Yeah, cool.
So my video is actually an old song that's been redone. So the original song is by Bowling for Soup, 1985, and this rocker kid.
1985.
Yeah. So
good song.
I like the song. I remember it came out in I think early 2000s, like 2002, 2004, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
So it's been redone. The guy's on TikTok. You can go check him out as well. But basically, he redid the song and updated it and made it about 20 years later, I guess.
Yeah, 2005.
2005 is right.
So yeah, I checked this video out. So here's a short clip from it.
She's seen all the classics. She knows every line. Juno and super bad. Mean Girls and she's a man. Rocked out to my cam. Not a five finger death punch fan. Thought she'd go backstage with a member of Jello.
And I hope you all enjoyed it, guys. Make sure you definitely go check out the full video as well. Links are in the descriptions for each of these videos that we are showing off.
Yeah.
The second video, I think, was yours.
My video. Now, see, this is one I actually found on YouTube. I'm a big sports fan. So I've been missing all of my sports. And so there is actually this video that's out there. It's on YouTube, and it's a out-of-work announcer because he doesn't have any sports to announce, and he's announcing his dogs having a little competition over a singular bone. So this came out a few weeks ago, but I just enjoy it. So check out this clip and enjoy a few seconds of some announcing.
Final, standing at a slightly torn cloth rabbit for over 7.5 minutes. And perhaps a few signs of overconfidence from her rival, a bit of showboating. Needs to be careful. There's the change from the classic hole, still placed outside the ring.
Okay, so I like that video still. I thought it was hilarious.
Makes me laugh.
You know,
Makes me laugh every time.
That bone. You know, it's just, and he's waiting so long. He's like, I got this.
Right, yeah.
So again, go check out those videos, guys, in the comments below. The other video was actually from your wife.
Yeah.
She sent one in, and it's a beehive Lego.
It was cool.
It's really, really weird. I wasn't expecting that, honestly.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect either, because I'm like, she sends me the video. I'm like,
Yeah, it's this guy. He's a beekeeper, and he builds a beehive out of Legos.
Exactly. So and that's really what it pretty much comes down to.
It's cool though. Check it out.
And they are beyond the bill or whatever. It's there. You know what? Their name's in there.
The
You can
link's
see
in the
it.
description.
It is.
Check
so go
'em out.
Check it out now. Okay, cool guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Right? Like it's really cool. It's really neat.
Yeah.
To see it.
It was definitely interesting. So
Yeah.
hopefully you check that one out.
Yeah. He has a lot of time on his hands. I don't think I have the
Don't
patience
we
for that.
all?
Right? That's true too. 70-something days later.
Yeah,
March
yeah.
29th. Then
I don't know.
I don't know. So the last video, our cameraman back here, our producer who's helped us out,
Yeah.
before, Frank sent us one.
Frank.
And Bane is back.
Bane.
I can't talk.
I'm Bane. Bane is rickrolling the city of Pittsburgh.
He is. You know what? That's the best way to put it. And definitely check it out now.
Tell you how I'm feeling. Gotta make you understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you go.
Okay, I still do love
Yeah,
that video.
that
I
video is
think it's hilarious.
fantastic.
So
He's
that one
just pointing to the crowd as he's saying, "Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
good." I
You know
like
what?
it.
I wish that was in the movie now. I want to see it just happen. Like,
I feel like I mean I haven't watched that movie in a long time because it's
Right.
like anytime I return to those, I watch the first two. Like I
Yeah.
like Batman Begins and The Dark Knight better.
exactly.
But maybe it's time to rewatch the Dark Knight Returns, and then just when it gets to that scene, just play that video instead.
Play that. So hold on. Pause, play. Mute this. All right, we're good.
Exactly.
We got this now.
Perfect.
So I hope you all enjoyed this segment, and this is going to be one of our new ones. So if you do like it, let us know. If you don't like it, let us know too. Maybe we could try a different one out. So on this segment, well, I think you should take it over. So
Yeah, I mean we're here Geek World today, right? We're going to talk about some fantastic news items, some that are scary and some that are more interesting. But definitely we're going to talk about movies, TV, video games, kind of the stuff that we were known for as Talkin Geek. That's what this main segment is going to be. But the first topic that we're going to talk about is something that when I read the headline, I thought it was fake. I did not think it was real. But apparently there have been monkeys that have broken loose from a lab in India with vials of coronavirus blood and are now out in the wild. That freaked me out. That's like Planet of the Apes, like straight out of that movie, Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Which is a great movie, and that trilogy is fantastic.
One of my favorites.
But, what are we supposed to
know.
do with that, Aaron?
Be scared and hope Caesar comes out to help us.
But Caesar
save the
wasn't
world?
really Caesar was the leader of the apes, and they took the world over.
But he didn't want to kill us, right? Didn't he
Not
wanna
really.
save
Like,
us?
apes together strong,
Apes together strong.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, but
Big gorilla man. I really don't know, because it was like,
Oh my
when
God.
I first saw it, I swear I thought it was the Onion. I was like, oh, this has got to be fake. There's
Right.
no way this is real. No. And I scrolled
2020
past
is
it.
putting the Onion out of business. Like literally, there is so much craziness happening that The Onion is like, we can't even make a headline anymore.
We can't make this up. They make it up. It's like, oh crap, it was real.
Oh my
All right,
God.
guys.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, that story is nuts.
It's weird because it's like, they didn't say they caught him even, right?
Well,
I can't
and so
remember.
yeah, the story that I read was just kind of that they had escaped, and then there was somebody out there like, we don't have any evidence that apes can even catch coronavirus, and so it's unlikely that they can spread it, and don't worry about it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm still gonna worry about it. Like you can tell me not to worry about it, but there are apes on the loose with vials of corona blood. Like that's freaky.
It's like, no, I'm gonna worry, and you should too,
Right.
Because they have it,
Stop trying to sweep this under the rug.
right? And
Oh
then
my
we're gonna
God.
see apes build city 2 miles southeast of,
I don't even wanna. That's so weird.
right?
Yeah. Oh my
He's
God.
gonna be dressed as like a little preacher or something, so he can hide himself. I bless you. I bless you.
Yeah. No.
So-
The Simian uprising
It's happening.
is
We're
apparently happening. It began in
So-
India, and it's coming for the
done.
rest
We just
of
make
us.
sure they don't get guns. I think that
Yeah.
would be okay, maybe. If
Nope.
they don't get guns.
Yeah. Do you know how strong they are? They're
Yes,
so much
but-
stronger than us. It's not even
We
fair.
gotta keep that distance, you know. We
Yeah,
can tell,
we're
maybe we'll
social
tell, we'll tell
distancing?
them we're social distancing, and they should listen and understand what social distancing is. And
Sure.
they'll be like, oh, okay, well, yeah.
I'm
we should
sure.
do that.
I'm sure that they would totally be down for
Yeah,
that.
I think they should. I think they would. The other bit of news that's not so apocalyptic,
Yeah.
but
Hopefully.
it is just as apocalyptic. Just Snyder cut of Justice League
Oh.
is hitting HBO Max.
Yeah.
As a series, I believe, right? Or is it the actual full
like
movie?
a mini series kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So HBO Max is the new HBO streaming service.
Which
that
watch it.
it includes everything basically from HBO, and there's also going to be original content. This is one of the things that's going to be original content. Yeah, the Snyder cut is actually coming. It's not an actual cut of the movie.
No.
There was no such thing as the Snyder cut existing. There were a few scenes that had been previously shot that were cut out of the movie. But there's always that in
Yeah.
movies. There's always scenes that get shot that don't end up getting used. So some of those were shot by Zack Snyder. And then there's also a lot of storyboard material. There's like a whole storyline with Darkseid
Yes.
that's just not in the final cut of Justice League at all. That apparently will be in this Snyder cut. And HBO, I think it's like $20 or $30 million that they're dropping into
so,
this,
something like that.
which is insane to me. Like, I mean, Justice League has a lot of problems. I think it's okay. There's
Yeah.
parts of it that I really enjoy. There's parts of it that I don't. Zack Snyder, I think, is a visually stunning director, but I think his stories a lot of times leave a lot to be desired.
Oh yeah.
And so I wasn't the biggest fan of his other DC movies that he's done, like Man of Steel. I thought that was okay. And then BVS, I think, is a train wreck. I think that's a terrible movie.
Yeah. I was trying to remember that one for a quick second because I forgot all about it.
Yeah. Justice League is good, or I guess okay.
Yeah.
I was not one of those people clamoring for the Snyder Cut. I have HBO Max. I will watch this when it comes out.
Yeah.
Because I'm interested to see what it will be. Zack Snyder also has a history of some of his director's cuts being better than the theatrically released movies. Watchmen is one of those.
Yeah.
So there's certainly a good chance that it'll be better than the original Justice League, but I mean, I just don't know what they're going to like. I don't know why they're doing this. They're not going to continue on with that series of movies. They're not.
No.
They're not going to build off of this. So I don't know why it's happening, other than apparently HBO thinks it's going to get people to subscribe to HBO Max.
I mean, that's all it comes down to. I mean, right now, too, with HBO Max, I think if you have just regular HBO, like I know through Hulu, you get HBO Max for free.
Yep.
So it's like, well, what's the point of having this whole separate thing then? I don't get
It's
that
not
either.
really separate. It's just before now, they had like HBO Now and HBO Go, which
Right.
were just a way to subscribe to HBO's TV content.
Right.
Right. So things that are on their normal premium channel, whether it's their shows or their original movies, things like that. HBO Max is basically it's their own Netflix now, where now there is streaming content. There's going to be original content on that streaming service that is not available on their TV channels.
Okay.
So like if you subscribe to HBO through your cable network, you will still have HBO on your cable network, but that is not HBO Max.
So you're not gonna
whereas
get Max if you
whereas
have that.
if you subscribe to HBO Max, you get all of the stuff that's on their TV show, plus you get all of the extra content. There's extra movies. There's extra, like they entered into agreements with like TCM, so Turner
Right.
Classic Movies, Studio Ghibli,
I think they
Looney
got Friends
Tunes.
too, right? Like the whole. I think it moved
Yeah,
over there. now or
they got
something.
the whole series of Friends. So they actually, there's a ton of content on
Yeah.
HBO Max that's really, really good. This is something that, again, I think that they must believe that it's going to drive people to subscribe to HBO Max.
Yeah.
I already have it, so it's not going to drive me. I guess I'll
Same.
watch it, but I don't know that I was ever super jazzed for the Snyder cut of Justice League.
I never really jumped on board. I know a lot of people were on board for it. They were like, "We want the Snyder cut. We want to see it." And I'm like, I don't care to see it. It's just one of those.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to see all that stuff as deleted scenes on the DVD, and then I'll be happy with that.
Well,
Like,
and
that's
it's
cool.
and it's one of those things too, where like he was the original director, and so it would be interesting to see his original vision, what he
Yeah.
wanted to do, and what he wasn't able to complete. So I understand the interest in it. I just like Zack Snyder's not one of those filmmakers to me where I'm like, oh, I love his stuff and I wish I had seen it.
Yeah.
So that's like, if this situation was like a different director that I really loved and didn't get to see their version of the movie, I would be the same way. So
Yeah.
the people that want to see this are people that love Zack Snyder's movies. So I get
Yeah.
it. I'm just not one of those people. I'll see it because it's Justice League and
Yeah.
it's got characters that I enjoy, and I hope that I enjoy the final cut or the Snyder cut of Justice League more than I enjoyed the one that came out in theaters, because I thought that was
It was weird.
it was a mess.
It really was.
It was one of those movies you could tell was directed by two different people.
Yep.
And usually if you can tell that, that's a bad sign. And so it was just tonally inconsistent. The storyline was kind of all over the place. So maybe this will clean it up. Maybe it'll make it better. I don't know. I mean, it's not going to go back retroactively and change that experience for
Nope,
me.
not at all.
And
so I think
we'll see.
my thing is with it, and you already touched on it, is they're not going to all of say, "Oh, let's go ahead and continue the Snyder type films." They
Yeah.
already have their path set out where
Yeah.
they're going to go with everything.
We're not going to all of a
We're
sudden
never-
get a cyborg movie with
Yeah.
that actor.
That's all done. That's why I guess I'm burnt out on it. I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe
Ben Affleck's already gone.
Yeah, but supposedly they want to bring him back. AT&T and Warner Brothers. They want to bring him back as Batman.
AT&T. Do you
I don't know
do you
why
mean
it's in
WB.
I don't know why. I'm like, why is it AT&T and Warner Brothers? That's the headline. It was
AT&T.
AT&T and Warner Brothers want to bring back Ben Affleck as Batman. Is what the headlines were.
Yeah,
and I was
well,
like, I don't.
He's not
no.
coming back.
Yeah,
We
that
have a
is
new
done.
Batman.
Do we now?
We do.
And Robert Pattinson. I'm terrible with names.
Robert Pattinson, who
Patterson.
is going to be in the new movie that we already talked about,
Yes.
Tenet. And he's also our new Batman. There was a little
Yes.
news that dropped this week about
Yes,
him.
it did. He dropped, and we basically got more. We got more pictures, and it wouldn't be a show without my phone going off randomly. We
This is
got
true.
pictures of him as the new Batman. Have you seen him yet?
I did see those.
What do you think of him first as Batman? Seeing him now in the cape and cowl.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say I'm not a huge fan of the actual outfit. Like,
Right.
I didn't like it when it first. I don't know. It's kind of the same thing that it's been with every Batman movie since the mid 2000s, which is very militaristic.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that's not really my Batman. I prefer my Batman to be kind of more free flowing. Like he should, it's almost like I want him to be dressed like a ninja.
Yeah.
You know, because that's kind of what he is. And so ninjas just wear cloth outfits and, you know, a head covering and that kind of like, and that's kind of how I envision a Batman is, you know, I don't like it that it's armored and he's basically bulletproof.
Yeah. Essentially, yeah.
And that's kind of what this looks like again. I think Pattinson looks good in the outfit, though. I mean, I think he looks like Batman.
Yeah.
So I'm on board for him playing Batman. I'm just not crazy about the actual costume itself. I don't know.
Makes
What about
sense.
you?
So my thing is, I looked at it again, and we saw the bat on his chest, and
Right.
to me, it doesn't look like the bat symbol, and it doesn't even have like ears. It looks like it's just a little, almost like a, I don't know, like two ovals put together, where
Yeah.
it doesn't have the little ears, doesn't have the shape for the wings. So that kind of bothered me. And then, so the pictures you're seeing, which will be posted up later as well as on our Facebook page, you have a side view of him, which, he looks fine. But they got that front view of him. And that front view, it looks like he's holding back a smile in that picture. And I'm like, why Why are we holding back a smile?
Maybe he just beat a criminal to a pulp.
And it's fun.
Right.
Now, doesn't that make him a little psychopathic?
He absolutely, Batman is a psychopath. This is not up for debate. He absolutely is a psychopath.
I think that's what bothers me, though. He looks like he's smiling, and someone had posted on our Facebook page, they should have done the eyes a little bit angrier, because if you look at his brow, they kind of do look a little raised up more than like brought down, which maybe that's why he looks like he's smiling. Maybe that's just the way he normally looks, and since you can't see the eyes, you can't really see like what his expression is. So maybe that's the case. I don't know. I'm interested, because after you tell me about some of the movies he's in, and I was like, you know what? I forgot that he did this other stuff. It's like, maybe he could do a good Batman.
Well, and it's being directed by Matt Reeves, who did the final 2 movies of the Apes trilogy, which we already talked about.
And I love those.
So he's a really good director. It's got a bunch of really good actors in it. Paul Dano and Jeffrey Wright and Colin Farrell and Peter Skarsgård.
Yeah.
I think it's Sarsgaard. I don't think
See?
there's a K
Names
in
are
there.
hard.
Peter Sarsgaard. But just like there's so many talented actors as part of this. I'm just really looking forward to the movie. Batman's my number 1 guy. You know that.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of psychopaths.
I love Joker, so I can't say much. I think he's good.
So yeah, I'm interested to see what they do.
Now, one thing that I think there's 2 things that bother me. Well, one doesn't bother me. One I thought was kind of cool.
Okay.
Looking at his front face, though, I think he could have played a good Joker, though, because he has a thin build to his face.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm kind of curious now. But one thing I don't like is he doesn't want to put on muscle. I don't know if you heard this. He says that he feels like it's body shaming men at this point, that they have to put on so much muscle for these roles, and he doesn't want to do that. And I get where he's coming from, and I understand, body shaming women, body shaming men, it's all the same.
Sure.
But don't do this on this movie, please, because I want to see like Batman fight. I don't want him to be anorexic or anything.
No, I think there's a difference between being in shape and then being like superhero shape. Like, you think of like Hugh Jackman in the Wolverine movies.
Oh God, yeah.
And you're like, okay, that's not natural. Nobody gets to that. It works for Wolverine.
Right.
But Batman's supposed to be just a normal guy.
Yeah.
Like he's not supposed to be, and I don't know. I guess for me, it's always been one of those things where I'm like, if Bruce Wayne was as jacked out as Batman is in a lot of these drawings, and he's walking around town looking that jacked, and he's 6'2", and he's all these things, like, how are people not putting this together? So I kind of understand that he should look more unassuming when he's not in the suit, and you rely on stealth and smarts and all of those things that is Batman. Like, yes, he is able to beat you hand to hand, but he also just puts himself in the best position to defeat you, and he uses his gadgets and he does all those things. And so I'm fine with Batman not being a bodybuilder. Like, that's okay for me. He still needs to be very athletic. Yeah. He still needs to be very strong, all of those things, but you can do that without looking like Hugh Jackman in the Wolverine movies.
I can see that, I guess.
So, I mean, we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll definitely see. Unless he has a beer belly. And he just comes, guys.
I mean, Fat Thor kicks some butt, okay?
I mean, he has the powers of a god. But I'll also
true.
answer your other question. I mean, Kent looks around. No one notices with the glasses. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah,
Put glasses
which is
on, and
dumb.
No one will know.
It's so
It's
dumb.
okay.
It's literally dumb. But it's one of my favorite memes of all time, which is like, it's like Lois Lane sitting in front of a laptop, and she's got like a picture of her and Superman that she's like posting on Facebook, and it's like, do you want to tag Clark Kent? It's like, because the Facebook has figured out that it looks exactly the same.
It's not Clark Kent. Gosh, Facebook is so dumb.
Yeah. So.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh yeah. They did that for the BVS.
Oh.
Yeah. That's a funny video.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen that one.
That's a good video where, Jimmy Kimmel like put himself in the movie, in BVS where there's just a scene where like Batman and Superman meet, and he is like, wait, you're Superman, you're Batman. Like he's just calling him out completely.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious. I'd look for that one. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the other news, and I think, well, I'll go with this one, with the PlayStation 5. You know, the new consoles are coming out this year at some point. You got PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X coming out this year. So
Which one are you?
I'm always Xbox. Always.
Marvel, DC, bro.
Marvel, but always Xbox.
I mean,
Marvel, Xbox. There you go.
there you go.
And Starship Troopers. So I'm always gonna throw that in there.
We do not. There's no shaming on this, right? The man is trying to divide us. Okay, PlayStation and Xbox, we're all geeks. Marvel and DC, we're all geeks. Star Wars and Star Trek, we're all geeks.
We're all geeks.
Don't let them divide us. But Star Wars, Marvel, and PlayStation.
Oh, they got good games. So I mean, I'm glad we're talking about it because today will be the 2nd.
Yep.
So the 4th would be Thursday.
Correct.
So I got to do math.
Doing math in his head.
So on the 4th is the release, the reveal, I guess, of the actual PlayStation 5. We'll get all the specs, hopefully, and everything else. So I wanted to talk about this real quick because they've done a few comparisons based on what we know so far of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox X, essentially.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it's a little almost even. There's a part where it is underpowered on some aspects and better than the Xbox and others. But people are worried about the price point. Right now, the rumored price point is about $700 for the PlayStation 5.
Which is cheaper than the latest iPhone.
It still is, which is sad. And it could probably do almost as much, except take pictures. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's not portable either. You don't walk around with it in your pocket.
Hang on, I can figure this out.
Okay.
Give me a few minutes.
Yeah, okay,
So-
Mr. Bubble Boy.
Hey, it could be a shelf in my bubble as I walk. And it'll be perfect. So I'm wondering, like, I don't know, I know you're not a big gamer, but do you feel that that 700 price point is going to push people away? Or do you think that no matter what, it's a game console, I'm going to buy it?
I mean, I think right now it's a matter of, like, is it really necessary? Like, what are you getting from a PlayStation 5 that you can't get from a PlayStation 4? What are you getting from an Xbox X that you can't get from an Xbox, One?
Yeah.
And it's new games for sure. And so there are always going to be those people that I want to play those new games, and that's what I want. And so I'm going to get the latest console. But your casual person, like, I have a PlayStation 4, not because I'm a huge gamer,
Right.
but because I wanted a Blu-ray player and something that I could subscribe to all my apps on. And I can play games every once in a while. Like, that's why I owned a PlayStation 4. But I bought that probably a year after PlayStation 4 came out.
Oh, wow.
Like, it wasn't like I went out the weekend it came out or anything.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling this is going to follow something similar where you're going to have hardcore people that are going to buy it no matter what the price is. And then, you're going to have other people that'll come to it as they need something that gives them what that system gives them.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I won't lie. I know Xbox, when it comes out, I'm going to be the first to buy it probably. Just because I love Halo. I love the games that come out for it.
Sure.
And they're going to come out, they're thinking around the same time as the new console. So I'll probably end up buying it for that. But definitely want to say, guys, check out the PlayStation 5 event on Thursday, of the June 4th. Hopefully we'll get everything we want to know, like the actual look, because right now the look is all speculation based upon some design submissions that were turned in for the patents. So we think we know how it looks, but we're waiting to see. Of course, the rumor about the price point is a rumor. So definitely check it out, guys, and see what you think. Yeah. And let me know what you think, too. Are you going to be PlayStation, Xbox, or are you just going to buy both? Because, why not? Because we're all gamers. So the last bit of news I want to talk about, too, is there's been Stormtrooper sightings. That's how I'm going to post it. I'm going to say it that way. Stormtrooper sightings.
Yeah, Disney World has, as we are in a new world of the COVID-19 world where there is social distancing being enforced, Disney World has hired some stormtroopers to ensure that their patrons are properly socially distancing.
There you go.
So there will be stormtroopers enforcing the rule of social distancing, ensuring that people are staying 6 feet apart. Now, I'm not sure exactly how they're going to enforce it because they're gonna hold blasters that they can't hit anything with. So, I mean, I don't know. In practicality, an actual stormtrooper, I don't think would be able to do this. But we are talking about human beings inside stormtrooper suits, and so I'm a little bit scared.
See, I feel like they'd be threatening you. I'm going to shoot you. Why are you pointing like 6 feet that way? It'll work. Watch. Oh, he got me. What the? How?
Yeah.
That's how it's going to work. But that's cool, though. At least hopefully when they open it up, that'd be kind of interesting to see. And you get to play to the whole Disney lore, I guess. Or
Yeah.
how it should be when you
And
go
it'll
there.
be really interesting to see the reopening of a lot of things like that. I mean, there's been a lot of information we've been finding out about the virus. We still don't know everything, but of course, outdoor is better than indoor, right?
Yeah.
And so there are attractions at every theme park that are outdoor attractions, and then there's indoor attractions. So maybe the outdoor attractions can open, but the indoor ones still won't be.
Yeah.
We don't really know what this is all going to look like. And the world is an interesting place.
Yeah.
And we don't know what everything's going to look like, but we're all excited for that day when we can get back to a little bit of semblance of normal.
Yeah. With stormtroopers.
Correct.
So
I mean,
higher.
it's not surprising that the Empire stepped in after a global pandemic to enforce the rule of law.
I mean, good for them, though. Good for them. They all found work.
Good for the Empire.
Hey, you know what? They have jobs, too. So they have families to feed. And,
They do.
So, I mean, come on. I mean, plus, who knows how their insurance policies are after the Death Star got blown up twice now?
I'm gonna make Aaron put this little thing right here. It's one of my favorite memes, and it's just a couple of stormtroopers, and one of them's like, "Hey, do you think we should? Do you think ever maybe we're the bad guys?" The other one's just like, "Nah, let's just head back to the Death Star, to the ship."
Yeah. I'm definitely putting that in now. But, let us know what y'all think, what other news is out there that we may have missed and what you want to hear about, and we can let you know our 2 cents on it.
For sure.
Okay, guys, and this is our new segment I wanted to bring out to you as well, and it's called Take My Money.
Shut up and take my money.
Here comes the money.
So now... So, as you can hear, this one is all about
Yeah.
taking money. I love these little sound bits that are added here.
Yeah.
So, this is where we talk about stuff that we found around the net, more than likely pretty much geek related every single time.
Yeah.
That we think you would enjoy, or just, really cool little like trinkets, I guess, or
Yeah.
knickknacks, whatever you want to call it.
For sure.
We're going to find them and we're going to talk about them. So, I think mine's because it's not even related to the 2 you and your wife picked at all. So,
That's all right.
I'm going to go with mine first. So it's an old one. So it's a Dying Light video game, which came out a few years ago. And it's still getting DLC updates with new people in it. So essentially the game is about a killer hunting 4 people. So it's a multiplayer online game. You can be either one of the 4 survivors or the killer himself.
What's it called?
Dying Light.
Dying
Yes.
Light.
So the cool thing is, the killers at first were just people that they created, right? Like this witch character, et cetera, et cetera. And then a DLC came out about a year ago, and you got to play Jason. They actually brought Jason out.
Nice.
And it's cool because as the killer gets close to the survivor and you're the survivor, you hear a heartbeat. So you can kind of know, he's close by. But when Jason gets close, you hear the music.
Oh, nice.
I can't do it. I don't know how it goes. I can't even think of the top of my
No,
head. So
I'm not the horror guy. So
I'm really not big either.
I've literally never seen a Jason movie.
So, is it Jason?
I've never seen a
whatever.
Jason movie. I've never seen a Michael Myers movie. I've never seen a Freddy movie.
Michael Myers. I'm sorry. It's Michael
Sorry.
Myers. That's who it is. Michael Myers. It's not Jason. I got him backwards because Jason's in a different game. It's Michael Myers you could be. And then I think they brought out a character who resembles Freddy from Friday the 13th.
Yep.
Same abilities kind of thing too. And that one was cool.
So you have to fall asleep in the game for him to try and kill you?
Yeah, so it's kind of what it is. Like, you never see the cool thing is you never see the killer.
Okay.
But then you get like hit, and it's supposed to be that you're getting tired, or in
Okay.
this case, you're going crazy slowly.
Yeah.
So as you finally hit like your max crazy, then you could see him. So that's how they did the Freddy character. It's kind of cool. But I'm bringing it back because the new DLC they've talked about as of the 27th of May is going to be Pyramid Head from the Silent Hill series. So the new killer is Pyramid Head himself, which I know you said you didn't play it, but he is the main antagonist in the video games Silent Hill 2 and I believe 3.
Is his head literally in the shape of a pyramid?
It's a big, huge, long pyramid that comes out like way out here, and he wields. I don't know if I can say this properly, but it's a bastard sword. I don't know if.
Okay. Yeah,
big,
like the
huge
super
ones.
long one. Yeah.
That's
okay.
why he drags that until he finds you, and then he brings down your head.
Well,
I gotta make sure I
that,
hit stuff. So,
sounds
so
like, why does he have okay.
the video games we don't talk about that part. It's thank you, Kojima, for making
Yeah.
weird video games.
Sure.
And the reason I bring it out, a couple different things. One, you get B Pyramid Head.
Yeah.
They're bringing out the Midwich Elementary School, which is the setting of the second video game, I believe.
Okay.
And I think it's even in the movies, the first Silent Hill movie. And then they're bringing back as a survivor, Cheryl Mason, who was in Silent Hill 2, I think, as a replay through. I can't remember when you get her exactly.
Okay.
So they're bringing all these characters back, and to me, it's a big deal because Kojima, who made Death Stranding, the new video game that came out, who left Konami a while back. Konami technically owns the rights to these games, so we'll never see these games again now that Kojima has left. I think he took something with him, so they're never going to make these games.
Gotcha.
So I think it's cool that the only way we're going to get something is we're getting this DLC to kind of be like, hey, look, here's Pyramid Head one more time, and relive our Silent Hill days again.
Nice.
So I thought it was cool. Like I said, it's an oldie. The game's only like I think $20 or $30 even, and I believe you can buy all the season pass for like $50 or something like that.
Take my
So
money.
definitely take my money on that one.
Yeah.
What about you? You and Kristen had two very Star Wars-ish.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, so I'm a huge Star Wars nerd.
Really?
Which
cute
I don't
you.
know if
Yeah.
you knew that about me. But I'm also like I read all the time.
Yes.
Growing up, I read books all the time. I still read books as often as I can, which is not nearly as often as I used to. But I have a ton of books, and so
Okay.
this one really stood out to me. It's actually a bookend, and unlike a normal just bookend where like it's kind of straight up, this one's actually kind of tilted a little bit, and then on the side where you wouldn't put the books, so the books would be tilted,
Right.
and then on the outside of that is just Yoda standing there holding out his hand like he's holding the books up with the Force. And so it's a really thin metal bookend, so you can't really see it when there's a book flush up to it, so it looks like Yoda's just holding up the books. So it's really cool. I mean, you could find it on Amazon easily, but it's just a really cool, like, kind of, hey, I'm a geek. I have a lot of books. And so it's one of those things where, my birthday is already passed. Father's Day is coming up, though, so...
Kristen, listen.
Kristen
Kristen better be watching these.
little Yoda bookend. I would definitely take that. I think it's super cool. So definitely, if you like Star Wars, if you have a lot of books and you're looking for a cool way to display them, Yoda's a way to do that.
Yoda is, and Kristen's literally fell straight in line with that too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the picture of it.
I did.
So Kristen picked out something that she thought was really cool for everybody. It's a Star Wars Mandalorian Baby Yoda cheetah pet. Chia pet?
Chia pet.
I don't know why I always want
Chia.
to put a T in that. I don't know why.
I don't know either.
So
Because you're
The
bad
Chia
with
pet.
names.
yeah, exactly. Like I feel like I have to butcher this too. So the little chia pet, and it's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's a little chia pet, and it's him inside the. Is that like a?
It's like
I don't know,
like a baby
carrier?
carriage
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
And
Mhm.
it's all filled with the grass, and it comes out,
Yeah.
and there's a little baby Yoda.
yeah.
So I think it's
The
cute.
the child.
The baby child.
I do
Which-
love that that meme that's like, I would like to see the baby.
I love that.
And so now but like we're in the world that we're in, it's like, everybody's on their Zoom calls or whatever, and it's
Yeah.
like every time I hear, somebody on their Zoom call, I hear their dog in the background. I would like to see the baby.
That's pretty much what it is. On all of our Zoom meetings, everyone keeps showing off their cats and stuff, and I'm like,
Pretty much.
my cat's an ass. And she's like asleep over there. It's like, don't pick me up. I'm gonna kill you. And I'm like, okay, I'll let you sleep. cat."
Language.
Language. I need to get that on this too. So, definitely check those out. And I think that one she found on Amazon too, guys. So you can definitely check that out. Of course, Dying Light is on PlayStation, Xbox, and all that. So the DLC will be on all of it. So definitely check those out. But we are coming. What's up?
Well,
do it.
I
What do you
mean, we've got at least one question. We're
yeah,
gonna
that's
we're gonna
right.
pause right
Yeah.
now and see if there's any other questions. Be on the lookout for those questions and those posts every week because we want to know what you are interested in. Well, so we didn't get a ton of questions. This is the first time we've done this segment.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
We
It
did
happens.
get one question though that we're gonna answer here.
Yeah.
And we definitely want more. So as you're watching this video, make sure and drop in your comments down
questions.
below. Drop in your comments every week when we make those posts. Make sure and ask us this question so we can interact with you. But the one question we did get was from Matthew Hasso. And his question, he wants to know what's the next cinematic universe that we're going to review after we complete the MCU.
Ooh.
So we're almost done with that. So what's our next review series of videos
So-
that he wants to know.
I had an idea.
Okay.
That I just haven't pitched to you yet.
No,
but I was thinking about it.
We're pitching it live on the
Yeah,
air.
we're gonna pitch it right now and
Okay.
see what Robert says. I mean,
Okay.
of course you can say no.
Go
you
for
know,
it.
I don't care.
Go for it.
I was thinking, what about reviewing? I don't know if it would be cinematic, like the whole cinematic universe itself, but what about reviewing all the bad comic book movies? And I mean, like, Red technically is a comic book.
Red's not bad. Red
Red's not
2
bad.
is terrible.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking with. Red 2, The Phantom.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that one from like, was it the mid '90s? I think that
Yeah,
one was. What else is out there? They have the
If you say Supergirl, I'm not
Yeah.
doing it.
Supergirl.
I
Oh my god, I forgot about that one.
I actually
completely forgot about
it's
that.
actually funny. So Matthew is the guy that asked the question.
Yeah.
I do a podcast with him, or I have done a podcast
Yeah.
with him, and literally we did an episode on Supergirl.
Oh my
That
God.
movie's so bad.
I forgot all about that one. But I was thinking like Spirit is out there, 300, but 300 was a good one.
Yeah,
think.
I don't know if
think
I don't
300
know if I
was
really want to. I don't know if I really
know.
want to do like movies that I just want to crap on. Like I want to enjoy movies.
bad. Oh come on, you mean
so
Spirit
wait.
and Phantom were bad?
Wait. Let me throw this one at you.
Okay.
James Bond.
I mean, I'm never gonna turn down James Bond.
There's like
'cause
25 movies. Something like
yes,
that?
Roughly 25.
So we go back. I mean, there's so many that I haven't seen since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of the Sean Connery ones, whether it's like Dr. No, From Russian with Love, Thunderball. Like I haven't seen most of those since I was a kid. I don't think I've ever seen the Timothy Dalton ones.
There's only, what, 2, I think, of those.
Yeah, there's only 2 from Living Daylights and
Her Majesty's Secret Service, I think. Is the other
no.
one, or-
That's I think it's like You Only Live Twice or something like that. I think is his other one. But yeah, on Her Majesty's Secret Service is the one with George Lazenby.
That's who it is.
I've
I knew
never
there was only
I've
like
never
one.
seen that one.
Yeah.
I've seen most of the Roger Moore ones, but probably not all of
Yeah.
them. I definitely saw all the Pierce Brosnan ones, and there is only one good one.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Definitely not. That's not the worst one.
No, it's not
But,
the worst either.
But no, and then obviously the Daniel Craig ones, I've seen all those. So I mean, there's like 20 something movies, and a lot of them I don't remember or haven't seen much of. So that would be interesting.
I'm down for that.
I don't know.
I'm a huge James Bond fan.
I know you are. That's why I pitched it to you.
When I think it was either late teens, early 20s, I sat down and watched all of them.
Yeah.
In like about a week's time or so, but it was before Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
And I think the last Pierce one hadn't come out yet.
Oh,
I think.
thank God. Can we go back retroactively and destroy that movie?
Oh my
Die
God.
Another Day. That's the one with Halle Berry.
Yes.
That movie
Oh.
is so bad.
I watched it and I was like, this
Oh.
isn't Bond to me. I hate
Oh,
it.
it's so bad.
I think that one hadn't come out yet.
I feel really bad for Pierce Brosnan because, like, he is excellent as
yeah.
James Bond. Like, he's the perfect James Bond.
Yeah.
And outside of GoldenEye, his movies are terrible.
Yeah.
They're so bad.
So and that's the funny thing. When I first, my introduction to James Bond was actually the video game GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Then I watched the movie and I was like, okay,
Sure,
the
yeah,
movie's
yeah,
good. And then I told my mom, I was like, I want to get the whole thing. So this is how old I am. I actually have, I think, all the way up to GoldenEye on
Yeah.
VHS. All of the films
Nice.
because they had the Bond collection.
Yeah.
So so I ended up one week I was like late teens, early 20s. And I was like, I'm going to sit here and watch every single one. So it started with Dr. No and worked all my way through
Nice.
it.
Have you transferred those to digital yet? You're going to get them
No.
over to me?
No, not like that.
I mean, I don't know.
But
I'm just
We
saying.
both have HBO Max, which does have it.
Does it have all of them?
I think it has all of them. I know I saw all the Pierce ones.
Yeah. So
know. I
definitely,
think
I
let's
mean,
do
that's an
that.
option.
I'm not with James Bond.
Obviously, we could do other universes. Like we could do either other Marvel movies. Like
We got-
there was like the Spider-Man trilogy, the Raimi trilogy. There's
Oh yeah.
you know,
trilogy. Oh.
Daredevil and Elektra. Technically, we're in the. Oh,
I mean, that goes
I don't
back
wanna
to
do
the
those.
movies we want to crap on. Though,
Yeah,
I
the
think.
Fantastic Four movies. This is rough.
Yeah,
The
then you-
Superman movies. Oh, there's one good one.
Only no, I still think there's 2.
The Superman 2 is okay.
No, I'm saying there's only 2 good movies that are Superman. I liked Man of Steel.
Okay, all right. So you're saying
I
the
jumped,
original,
yeah.
and then Man of Steel. Okay.
Yeah, everything else didn't
I was
exist.
talking about the 4 that were with Christopher.
Oh,
Reeve.
just Christopher Reeve.
Like that's.
And that's the funny thing. I didn't know there was a 4th one. That's how bad I don't remember it. And I think we had talked about
Isn't
it
that
one
the
night.
one with Nuclear Man?
Is it? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's where you just say, "I'm sorry, Chris. This movie doesn't exist from your career.
Yeah.
Sorry, man."
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
bad.
down for for James Bond. I mean, I love
Yeah.
the series. I mean,
I don't
we
know.
got so many good actors.
We've
in that
got a
too.
few more movies in the MCU to get through, so we don't know yet. We hadn't really talked about the next project or if we were going to
No.
do something like that, because that's a lot of work. I mean, it's been, we were watching a movie every week for half a year basically.
Yeah. And then this kind of paused us. And that's why I haven't released anything yet, because I was like, I don't want to also space out too far, because
Yeah.
like eventually we have to review Black Widow, but we don't know when Black Widow's going to come out. The way we planned for it,
It's
it was
supposed
supposed
to-
to have already happened. and
Right. Yeah, we were
gonna
building
do it-
towards the
yeah.
Black Widow release, and now that's supposedly coming out in November.
Yeah.
Which I think will still happen.
Yeah, I think so.
But
too. I'm
we
just
don't really know.
I don't know, but it would be good to see what else to do. I'm always down for another one. This
Yeah.
was fun. And
I mean, there's always the Star Wars series. Although I did vow to myself after I watched all of the movies before Force Awakens came out. So I watched the 6 movies that had been made before that, the previous 6 episodes, and I vowed to myself that was the last time I would ever watch Attack of the Clones. I hate Episode 2. It's my I hate it.
I don't remember episode 2. The only thing I remember from episode 1 was the pod racing scene.
You
That's
don't.
kinda all I
Well,
remember.
see, Episode 1 has like the Darth Maul fight, which is cool.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And there's a couple other things in Episode 1 that I can live with. Episode 2, I absolutely hate. So, I mean, maybe my arm will get twisted at some point, and we will review all of the Star Wars movies.
Kristen will make you watch them eventually again.
But I hate Episode 2.
See, I don't remember it. But yeah, I mean, the Star Wars would be fun. You got Star Trek too.
there's-
Star Trek's out there.
Yep, Star Wars, there's like 11 movies. Star Trek, now there's probably around 13 or 14.
Yeah. And we got Starship Troopers. There's about 5. Nope, there's 5.
I've literally only ever seen the first one, and I thought it was okay.
They have 3 live action and 2 animated. And they follow a timeline.
But why?
Because boobs. Yeah, they have the first one, which with Casper Von Dien, and then the second one doesn't have him in it. It follows this whole other platoon.
Yeah, they couldn't get that big star back.
No, we couldn't get Neil Patrick Harris either. He was too big now. I forgot the name of the second one, and then the third one is called Marauders.
I'm glad you enjoy that movie
I do,
because somebody needs to. This is not me.
the one fan out there.
It's not me.
How's
The
it going?
movie's like, it's okay,
Yeah,
but like there's so many other good comedy sci-fi,
yeah.
action comedy sci-fi. I mean, I even told you this. I
Comedy, sir. There's real drama.
sure, yeah, okay.
And real boobs. I hope.
I told you that I recently watched a documentary on Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
And like that, to me, like if we did the Star Trek, like if we went back and watched the Star Trek movies, we would have to also include Galaxy Quest because that's literally a Star Trek movie. It's maybe the best Star Trek movie. It's so good.
Okay.
I mean, Wrath of Khan is great. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But Galaxy Quest is like, it's a love letter to the fans, to the show. Like it embraces geek culture. If you've never seen Galaxy Quest and you're watching this show, this was a movie made for you. Like this is literally made for geeks and nerds that love this stuff. It does not make fun of us. It does not do any of those things. It came out in '99, and this was like groundbreaking. It's way ahead of its time because like this is the type of movie that you would expect to see now.
Yeah.
But like 20 years ago, when geeks and nerds were still geeks and nerds and people looked down on us, this movie was like, this is amazing.
It was
so
like I think I said this before. It definitely flew under the radar, and it's
Yeah, it
so
was-
underrated.
it was not a big hit at the time, but man, it has a huge following now. And I would recommend that movie to anyone, anytime. I think that movie's fantastic.
So we have a bunch of different options. We have James Bond.
Yep.
We have Star Trek, Star
Yep.
Wars, Starship Troopers now.
DC movies,
DC movies.
bad comic book movies
Bad
apparently
comic book
is
movies.
what you want to do.
It was
So-
an idea because I was like, man, but yeah, we would crap on that all day.
I mean,
that's true.
I'm just like, I'm looking over there and I'm like, oh man, Ang Lee's Hulk. That's a bad comic book movie.
I forgot all about that one too. I mean,
So-
and there's so many that I forgot about. Even there is a Fantastic Four movie that I don't think it got made, but I think the trailer is out there even.
The Richard Corman one from
Yeah.
the early 90s. So the movie actually got made. It never got released.
Oh,
though.
did it?
Yeah,
Oh.
it got made for rights reasons. Basically, they had to make the movie so that they didn't lose the rights. But it
Gotcha.
has no budget. It got no, like it's. I've never seen it. You know what I have seen, because I also did it for that podcast
God.
that
What
I
is
did
it?
with my buddy, and it's the 1990 Captain America movie.
Isn't that where like the shield is like see-through looking too?
It's maybe one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
He has like his helmet's like a bike helmet, right?
It's
too,
so
I think?
no, it's not even like it's so bad.
Do you remember the Hulk and Thor TV movie with
See, but that's a TV movie.
yeah.
Like this movie was made and released in a theater, and it's
Do you remember Nick Fury's movie? What's his
I never
face in
saw
it?
it's,
From Baywatch.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
I can't think
about.
of his name now. all of a
David
sudden.
Hasselhoff.
Yeah, he plays Nick Fury.
Yep.
I've seen posters of it, and I was like, I don't want to watch it because it looks so corny.
I'm sure it's terrible. I mean, if you think about the journey of comic book movies,
Yeah.
like okay, Superman in 1978,
Right.
and then you had like Batman 1989,
Mm-hmm.
and
The
those
Crow-
movies became series and dropped off
Right.
in quality very quickly.
Yeah. Anything
Um,
before like 95, I think.
And
really.
then yeah, I mean, it's not until like Blade
Mm-hmm.
and the X-Men series and then Spider-Man, which is early 2000s, like that was the time where movies characters that weren't Batman or Superman
Yeah.
got budgets for their movies, and the movies actually started making money.
Yeah.
And consequently started being better in quality.
Yep.
And then, of course, the MCU exploded in 2008 with Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
You had the Batman series in the mid 2000s. The Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale, which The Dark Knight famously was the first comic book movie in which an actor won an Oscar,
Right.
and that was
Heath Ledger. was it?
Heath Ledger
Yep.
for the Joker. And then that was also the year, and a lot of people speculated it was because of The Dark Knight that they expanded the Best Picture category from 5 up to a possibility of 10, because a lot of people felt like Dark Knight got snubbed
Yeah.
in not getting an Oscar nomination for Best Picture.
yeah.
And so, like, 2008, which is when that movie came out, that's when Iron Man came out. So Dark Knight and Iron Man 2008, I mean, talk about a moment in time that just, it changed everything.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
agree.
literally everything we can trace from comic book movies.
Mm-hmm.
It comes from 1978 Superman and 2008 Iron Man and The Dark Knight.
Exactly. And I agree with you. Like everything, I really think once it hit the mid 90s, that's when it started slowly changing. Because, like you said, you have 78 Superman, you have 89 Batman.
Yeah.
And then they tried doing The Crow, which was 91.
It was like
94,
94.
something like that.
Yeah, 94, I think.
And then the same theme, though. Just like the other Batmans and Supermans, the quality goes down.
Yep.
The movies are not worth watching. And then Blade was like 96, I think, 97?
I
Wasn't
think
it?
Blade was 97 or 98. I don't
Okay.
remember exactly.
And then that's where I
the
feel
first,
like it
the first
turned.
X-Men was 2000. The first Spider-Man was 2002. You had 2005 was Batman Begins.
Yeah.
And there's still a bunch of crappy ones
Oh,
in there
yeah.
too. I mean, you still
Fantastic
have
Four.
your Daredevil, your Fantastic Four, your Hulk. There's still a lot of. I mean, even X-Men: The Last Stand and X-Men Origins Wolverine, and like, I mean, there are still bad comic book movies being made today. I mean, a lot of people didn't like Dark Phoenix at all. I thought it was okay.
I did watch that one.
Suicide Squad was a terrible movie. So I mean, there's like, but then on the other hand, you have Thor Ragnarok and Infinity War and Endgame, and
Yep.
it's like, so it's amazing how far we've come, but it's still really hard to make a really good
It
movie.
really is.
So
We'll see. So we got a lot to go with on
yeah,
that.
so
One
that's a
question,
long
too.
long question and answer there on one question.
So
but
we'll see.
well, I think we will
We're
do
done.
some more, but maybe not something where we have to watch a movie every week.
No.
Maybe we'll just
No.
have some conversations about maybe the journey of comic book movies, like
That'd be fun.
we just kind of talked about that. So
maybe we'll see what happens.
we'll see.
But speaking of all of that, so this past Monday, our MCU retrospective review came out.
Yep, Guardians of the
that was-
Galaxy Volume 2. Is it as good as the original? No.
Who knows? I was gonna try to give
Spoiler
you
alert!
guessing, but
Spoiler alert!
he
It's
says
not
no.
as good as the original.
So definitely go check that out.
Yep.
That's already come out.
Yeah, and next Monday is your guy, Spider-Man: Homecoming.
happy. I love watching
So the
Spidey.
first solo Tom Holland
Yes.
Spider-Man movie, where we don't get an origin story.
It's a throwaway line.
Yeah,
It's, one
which
sentence.
I think we'd seen it twice. We'd seen it
Oh
in
my gosh,
2002 with Tobey Maguire. We saw it again with Andrew
Garfield.
Garfield in 2011, something like that.
Yeah.
2010, 2011.
Yeah.
And so this is 2000. 17, we got Tom Holland, and maybe the best live action Spider movie up till that point. Maybe tune in for our thoughts.
So that came out, and Thursday comes out our comic book review with the comics call to action, and Friday we have an interview coming out with Tiny Build, who is the publisher of many video games, including Secret Neighbor, probably one of their biggest ones. My Delivery Service, I believe, is the other one. I cannot pronounce the other one now. I can't think of it. So, but they have a bunch of games out there, guys. Go check them out. Go type in Tiny Build, and you'll see tons of games that they've published. Like I said, they're not creators, but they are publishers, and they have some big hits out there for some indie titles. So check that out. But I think that's pretty much covers everything this week. I hope you guys enjoyed how we're doing this, and I hope you enjoyed the new segments. And again, if you don't like anything, or if you like them, let us know.
Yeah.
That's the only way we can change and help make everything better, is if you let us know. Because we're doing this for you. We're doing this because we like to, we have fun, and Robert signed the contract in blood, and I won't let him go.
Correct.
So on that note, guys.
But I am happy to be here today, like I said.
The one time. He took his happy pill before he left.
I have happy pills.
I don't know.
Fantastic. I'm going to start taking those more often.
You'll enjoy your job better. But on that
don't do
note-
drugs, kids. Don't do drugs in public. There we go.
On that note, guys, everyone stay safe, have fun, and remember, stay geeky, guys, and let us know what makes you geek, whether it's movies, video games, comic books, whatever it is. We want to know, and stay tuned for more, guys, and have a great one.